My aunt enrolled me in an all-girls school. It was early morning when Diara Whitson stood by her kitchen window, watching the sunrise. But her mind wasn't on the golden light breaking over the horizon. It was on her nephew, Lark. A year earlier, a tragic car accident had taken his parents. At just 14, Lark came to live with her. He was small for his age, quiet, and completely unmotivated. He showed no interest in sports, studies, or anything that could help him grow. Instead, he fell in with a bad crowd. His grades dropped. His hair grew long and messy. His attitude became more withdrawn and defiant. Doara's boyfriend, Dick Newman, grew increasingly frustrated with the situation. Tension filled the house. Eventually, Doara made a difficult decision. Lark needed a stricter environment. She searched for boarding schools, but nothing felt right until she discovered St. Agnes School for Wayward Girls. At first, the name confused her, but as she read deeper, she learned the school accepted students who weren't born female and specialized in strict behavioral reform through complete feminine immersion. The program emphasized discipline, etiquette, domestic skills, and total transformation. It was intense, almost shocking. Yet the more she read, the more she felt a strange sense of relief. This might be exactly what Lark needed. She visited the school. Hidden deep in the countryside behind tall brick walls and iron gates, St. Agnes looked like an elegant Old English college, beautiful lawns, ivy-covered buildings, and perfectly maintained grounds. After meeting the stern but composed headmistress, Miss Agatha Strick, Doara was convinced. She signed the papers that same day. 2 weeks later, Lark was officially enrolled. That evening, Doara called Lark into the living room. He entered cautiously, expecting another lecture. She spoke calmly. "I've found you a new school. It's smaller, stricter, and I believe it will give you a fresh start." Lark was hesitant but agreed to try. When she mentioned the uniform, he shrugged it off until the boxes arrived. Inside were pleated skirts, blouses with rounded collars, stockings, cardigans, and delicate shoes. Doara explained it was the school's tradition for new male students, start in the girls' uniform to build humility and discipline. After a long silence, Lark reluctantly agreed. "Fine, I'll try it." On the morning he left, Doara helped him dress. The soft fabrics felt strange against his skin. When he looked in the mirror, he barely recognized the person staring back. Neat hair tied with ribbons, blouse tucked into a pleated skirt. He told himself it was only temporary. The drive to the school was quiet. When they reached the gates, Doara gave him a small wave and drove away. 2 senior students greeted him politely and led him inside. From that moment, everything changed. At registration, his name was officially changed to Lisa Lark. He was given daily supplements for balance and emotional stability. His dorm room had lace curtains, a shared large bed, and a wardrobe full of uniforms. His schedule was filled with cosmetics, deportment, posture, walking, etiquette, housekeeping, nutrition, and clothing design. There was no mention of switching to boys' clothes. Ever. Day by day, Lisa adapted. He learned to apply makeup perfectly, walk gracefully in heels, maintain perfect posture, and complete domestic chores. He met Michelle, another student who had been assigned male at birth, and they became close friends, quietly supporting each other through the overwhelming changes. Weeks turned into months. Lisa's movements became naturally feminine. His hair grew longer and was styled daily. His reflection in the mirror looked softer, more refined. The boy he once was felt increasingly distant. He returned home for winter break, but the visit was painful. Dick mocked his appearance and clothing relentlessly. The tension was unbearable. When summer break came, Doara told him to stay on campus. Strangely, Lisa felt relieved. As years passed, Lisa fully adapted to life at St. Agnes. He became skilled at sewing, cooking, etiquette, and managing a household. Visits home grew rarer. Michelle remained his closest friend. The old name Lark almost disappeared. Then one spring day, everything shifted. Lisa received a desperate letter from Doara. Dick had become abusive and controlling, locking her in the house and cutting off her communication. She begged for help. With the school's support and legal guidance, 17-year-old Lisa returned home. Dressed neatly in a modest blouse and knee-length skirt, she confronted Dick with legal documents and calm determination. After a tense standoff, Dick finally left. Doara was free. In the quiet aftermath, Doara apologized for sending Lisa away and for not protecting him earlier. She offered him a permanent home. In exchange, Lisa would manage the household, cooking, cleaning, and keeping things running smoothly. Everything would be made official with contracts and inheritance plans. No more control. No more uncertainty. Lisa thought carefully, then agreed. They signed the documents. Lisa moved in fully. He kept the house organized, cooked meals, and created a calm, stable environment. Doara returned to work, visibly relieved and grateful each time she came home to peace and order. Over time, their relationship healed. The house became warm and quiet. Lisa no longer felt trapped. This life was now on mutual terms. He wore what felt comfortable. He had security and purpose. One evening, while reviewing final inheritance papers, Doara looked at Lisa with soft eyes. "Saint Agnes really changed you," she said gently. "For the better. You've become someone steady and strong." Lisa smiled faintly, touching the fabric of his skirt. "I just did what needed to be done." A single Saint Agnes uniform remained folded in a drawer, not as a reminder of pain, but of the strange path that had led him to this stable, unexpected life. Outside, the porch light glowed softly. Inside, the house felt like home. For the first time in years, everything felt settled. The days after Dick's departure settled into a gentle rhythm that neither Lisa nor Doara had expected. Lisa woke early each morning, just as the school had trained her. She moved quietly through the house, making coffee, preparing breakfast, and ensuring everything was in its place. She no longer wore the strict St. Agnes uniform, but she had grown comfortable in soft blouses, knee-length skirts, and simple cardigans. The clothes felt natural now, practical, neat, and quietly feminine. Doara would come downstairs to the smell of fresh toast and perfectly brewed coffee. At first, she seemed unsure how to react to this new version of her nephew, now fully Lisa. But over time, gratitude replaced her hesitation. "You don't have to do all this," Doara said one morning, watching Lisa arrange flowers in a vase. "I like it," Lisa replied softly, voice calm and measured. "It keeps the house peaceful. That's what matters now." The tension that once filled the home had vanished. No more sharp comments from Dick. No more slammed doors. Just the quiet sounds of normal life, pages turning, gentle conversations, and the occasional shared laughter. As weeks turned into months, their relationship slowly healed. Doara began opening up about the years she had struggled, the fear, the loneliness, and the guilt she carried for sending Lisa away. One evening, while Lisa was folding laundry with practiced care, Doara sat at the kitchen table and spoke with tears in her eyes. "I was scared back then," she admitted. "I didn't know how to help you. I thought St. Agnes would fix everything, but I never imagined it would change you so completely." Lisa paused, smoothing a blouse with careful hands. "It was hard at first, really hard. But it gave me something I didn't have before: discipline, patience, the sense of control over myself." She looked up with a small, knowing smile. "In a strange way, it prepared me to help you when you needed it most." Doara reached across the table and gently squeezed Lisa's hand. "Thank you for coming back, for not walking away." That night, they talked for hours about the past, about regrets, and about the future. For the first time, Lisa felt truly seen, not as the troubled boy he once was, but as the steady, capable person he had become. Life wasn't without its challenges. Neighbors began to notice the changes. Some gave curious glances when Lisa stepped outside to tend the garden in a neat skirt and apron, or when Doara introduced her as "my niece, Lisa." A few whispered, but most simply accepted the quiet, well-maintained household. Lisa learned to carry herself with the graceful confidence the school had drilled into her. The stares no longer bothered her as much. Michelle, her friend from St. Agnes, stayed in touch. They exchanged messages and occasional calls. Michelle had chosen to remain at the school year-round, fully embracing her new life. Their conversations reminded Lisa how far she had come. One afternoon, while preparing dinner, Lisa caught her reflection in the kitchen window. Long hair neatly styled, soft features, poised posture. The boy named Lark felt like a distant memory. She touched the small silver necklace Doara had given her, a simple gift to mark their fresh start. "This is who I am now," she whispered to herself. And for the first time, the thought brought peace instead of confusion. Doara returned to work with renewed energy. She often came home smiling, praising the warm meals, the clean house, and the calm atmosphere Lisa maintained. In return, she gave Lisa full freedom in the home, choosing decor, managing the garden, even rearranging furniture to make the space feel warmer and more personal. One weekend, they worked together on a small renovation project. Lisa designed new curtains and helped pick out soft pastel colors for the living room. As they painted side by side, Doara laughed, a real, light-hearted laugh Lisa hadn't heard in years. "You're better at this than I ever was," Doara said, wiping paint from her cheek. Lisa smiled. "I had a lot of practice." As the seasons changed, their bond deepened into something like family, not perfect, but honest and supportive. Doara finalized the legal papers. The house, a significant portion of her savings and future inheritance were all secured in Lisa's name. There were no hidden conditions. It was a partnership built on trust and gratitude. One quiet evening, after a simple dinner, they sat on the porch watching the sunset. Doara spoke softly. "I used to worry about what people would think. About you, about all of this. But now I see how strong you've become. I'm proud of you, Lisa." Lisa felt a warmth spread through her chest. She leaned her head lightly against Doara's shoulder for a moment, a small gesture that spoke volumes. "I'm glad I came back," she replied. The old uniform from St. Agnes still rested in the drawer, carefully folded. It was no longer a symbol of forced change, but a reminder of the strange journey that had led her here, to stability, purpose, and a home that finally felt like hers. 6 months had passed since Dick left, and the house had transformed into a true home. Lisa's routine had become a source of quiet pride. She woke at dawn, prepared breakfast, tended the garden, and managed the household with the same precision St. Agnes had taught her. She had grown her hair longer, often styling it in soft waves or neat braids. Her wardrobe now reflected her own taste, flowing skirts, comfortable blouses, and soft cardigans in gentle colors. The nervous boy who once arrived at the school gates was gone. In his place stood a calm, graceful young woman who moved with quiet confidence. Doara noticed the change every single day. "You've made this place feel alive again," she said one evening as they sat at the dining table. The aroma of Lisa's roasted chicken and herbs filled the air. "I don't know how I survived before without you here." Lisa smiled softly, serving Doara another portion. "We're helping each other now. That's what matters." Their conversations had grown deeper and more honest. Doara shared stories of her own struggles, her regrets about the past, and her hopes for the future. Lisa, in turn, slowly opened up about her years at St. Agnes, the confusion, the tears, the unexpected strength she had discovered. One weekend, Michelle came to visit. Seeing her old friend felt both strange and comforting. Michelle had fully embraced her life after graduation, now working as an assistant in a small boutique while still maintaining the graceful poise they had both learned. The two spent the afternoon in the garden, talking quietly. "Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come," Michelle said, sipping iced tea. "Do you ever miss the old life?" Lisa thought for a moment, touching the hem of her skirt. "I miss the freedom of not caring what people thought. But I don't miss who I was back then, lost, angry, drifting. This version of me feels more real." Michelle nodded with understanding. "We became who we needed to be." As the months continued, new challenges appeared. Neighbors grew more curious. One afternoon, while Lisa was watering the front garden in a neat lavender skirt and white blouse, an older neighbor approached with a polite but probing smile. "You must be Doara's niece. We've heard so much about you." You seem to keep the house so beautifully. Lisa met her gaze with calm confidence. Thank you. I try to make it a peaceful home. Word spread quietly, but Lisa no longer hid. The discipline and etiquette training gave her the strength to carry herself with dignity. Dara stood by her side, introducing Lisa proudly as her niece whenever the situation arose. One evening, Dara came home with exciting news. She had been promoted at work. That night they celebrated with a special dinner Lisa prepared: candlelight, soft music, and Lisa's perfectly baked dessert. After dinner, Dara grew serious. I've been thinking, she said. You've given up so much for this house and for me. I don't want you to feel stuck. If you ever want to study further, perhaps online courses in interior design, culinary arts, or even fashion, I'll support you completely. Lisa was quiet for a long moment. The idea both excited and frightened her. I'd like that, she finally replied. Maybe something in home management or design. I've realized I enjoy creating a beautiful space for us. Dara's eyes shone with pride. Then we'll make it happen. A full year after Dick's departure, Lisa stood in front of the hallway mirror, adjusting a simple pearl necklace Dara had gifted her. She looked at her reflection, poised, feminine, steady. The name Lark felt like a story from someone else's life. Dara walked up behind her and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. You've become the heart of this home, Lisa, she said softly. I'm so grateful you came back to me. Lisa turned and hugged her aunt, a warm, genuine embrace that carried years of complicated emotions. I'm glad I did too, she whispered. That evening, they sat together on the porch as the sun set. Lisa thought about the folded St. Agnes uniform still tucked away in her drawer. It was no longer a painful reminder, but a symbol of resilience, proof that even the most unexpected paths could lead to peace and belonging. The house was quiet and warm. The garden bloomed. The future, once uncertain, now stretched out gently before them. Lisa Lark had found her place. Here's part 4 of your rewritten script. Continuing naturally with a gentle time jump, deeper personal growth, and warm resolution. Script title: Lisa Lark, A New Beginning, Part 4. 2 years had passed since Lisa officially made the house her permanent home. At 19, Lisa Lark had blossomed into a confident, graceful young woman. Her days were filled with purpose. She had enrolled in online courses in interior design and home management, earning certificates with quiet determination. The skills she learned at St. Agnes, sewing, organization, nutrition, and etiquette, now formed the foundation of a small but growing side business. She offered personal home styling and organization services to a few local clients who appreciated her calm, refined touch. The house itself had become a showcase of her talent. Soft pastel walls, elegant curtains she had sewn herself, fresh flowers always arranged beautifully, and a kitchen that smelled of warm, homemade meals. Dara often joked that guests thought they had hired a professional housekeeper. One sunny afternoon, Lisa was working in the garden when Dara returned home early. She watched from the doorway as Lisa carefully tended the rose bushes, wearing a light floral dress and sun hat, her long hair tied back with a ribbon. You look so peaceful, Dara said, smiling warmly. I still can't believe how much you've changed this place, me. Lisa stood up, brushing dirt from her hands. We changed each other. They sat together on the porch swing, sipping iced lemonade. Dara had become more relaxed and affectionate over time. The shadows of her past with Dick had faded, replaced by genuine happiness. A new chapter quietly began when Lisa met someone. His name was Ethan, a kind, soft-spoken graphic designer who lived a few blocks away. They first met when he hired Lisa to help organize and style his home office. What started as professional conversations slowly turned into friendly visits, then shared dinners. Ethan never questioned Lisa's past. He saw her exactly as she was now, gentle, capable, and quietly strong. One evening, after a quiet walk in the neighborhood park, Ethan took her hand. I really like spending time with you, Lisa, he said gently. You make everything feel calmer, better. Lisa felt her heart flutter, a new, nervous but warm feeling. For the first time, she allowed herself to imagine a future that included someone else. When she told Doara about Ethan, her aunt's reaction was full of quiet joy. "You deserve this," Doara said, hugging her. "After everything, you deserve someone who sees how wonderful you are." That same year, Lisa decided to visit St. Agnes for the first time since graduation. She drove there on a crisp autumn day, wearing a modest but elegant outfit she had chosen herself. The tall gates and ivy-covered buildings looked exactly as she remembered. Headmistress Miss Strick greeted her with a rare, approving smile. "You've done well, Lisa," the headmistress said during their tea in the office. "Many of our students struggle to find their place after leaving. You've built something meaningful." Lisa walked the familiar paths, remembering the confusion and tears of her early days. She visited the dormitory and even saw Michelle, who had stayed on as a junior instructor. They hugged tightly, laughing about old memories. "Would you ever come back to teach here?" Michelle asked. Lisa shook her head with a soft smile. "No. But I'm grateful for what this place gave me. It prepared me for real life." Before leaving, she placed a small bouquet of flowers from her garden at the memorial statue in the courtyard, a quiet thank you for the strange path that had led her home. Back at the house, life continued in its gentle rhythm. Lisa expanded her small business, taking on more clients. Doara proudly showed photos of their beautifully kept home to her colleagues. In the evenings, they often cooked together or watched movies, their bond now feeling more like mother and daughter than aunt and nephew. One quiet night, as they sat by the fireplace, Doara spoke with emotion in her voice. "I used to think sending you away was my biggest mistake. Now I realize it was the best decision I ever made. Not because it changed you into someone else, but because it helped you become who you were always meant to be." Lisa leaned her head on Doara's shoulder, the same way she had done years ago. "I'm happy here," she whispered. "This is my home." The folded St. Agnes uniform still rested in the drawer, now joined by new memories. Photos of her with Ethan, certificates from her courses, and a growing collection of fabric swatches for future projects. Life was not what young Lark had once imagined. It was softer, structured, and unexpectedly beautiful. And for Lisa Lark, that was more than enough.